This is At the Water Cooler with Wayne and Jerry.
Welcome to Wayne and Jerry at the water cooler.
Life at the water cooler.
At the water cooler here with Wayne. I'm Wayne.
I'm Jerry. This is our time with you.
At the water cooler.
At the water cooler.
And the water cooler's name is?
I don't know. Let's name it.
We're going to name the water cooler eventually.
What do you think? Yeah, I want you to think about that.
Agua, maybe? Agua?
Agua.
Agua the water cooler.
Agua, okay.
We're wrong with that. For now, if you have a better name for our water cooler, just submit it in the comments or by way of social networking.
This here some dumb criminals and stupid headlines.
Today we're going to talk about stupid news or dumb criminals news report. So the first one I want to share is
things that make you go,
Things that make you go,
wow.
wow, amazing. Bank robbers are caught because of cap with a bass fish on it. So they robbed a bank, basically, these two guys. And the description was, they wore like mask and everything, dark colored cap with a picture of a bass on there. So they thought they got away.
Do you think that was significant to their investigation?
It was.
Bass?
That was because the
hat.
The bank they robbed, the teller says, well, he was wearing a hat with a bass fish on it, you know? And then the police were like stopping people with hats, and they were like, hey, that hat's got a bass fish on it.
Do you think it was a largemouth or a smallmouth bass?
Well, it just looks like a fish.
Oh.
But they say it's a bass fish, the bass on it.
I live in the South. We would have put bass sausage.
And you know what? They admitted to robbing the bank. They admitted to planning to rob the bank. They found both cars using the getaway vehicles owned by the same two people or the same person. It says the police were on to them when an officer found the cap with the fish on it near the Heather Lake subdivision. I imagine this is a trailer park.
So that the fish actually helped solve the investigation.
The cap, yeah. The fish.
Yeah, the hat
Yeah.
with the fish.
All right. You want to do this one?
Man mistakes cousin for skunk. Shooter! A Pennsylvania man made a horrible mistake at almost caused a young cousin's life. During the hide-and-seek game, the Halloween party, Thomas Grant's young cousin lay motionless and face down. He accidentally mistook her for a skunk. The costume was black and had a white stripe down the back.
So my question is, first of all, what kind of Halloween party are they having here? Where they go hiding and the 9-year-old decides, I'm just going to lay down in the front yard.
I've never went Halloween and played hide and seek at the same time.
Well, my thing is,
That's too much going on. I would be too confused.
Who goes to a party and says, hey, I know you don't live here, but let's just play hide and seek if they're not like young. Like
I see. They were having a Halloween party and someone came up with the idea, let's have a
let's hide
and seek.
Well, here's another question.
Well, what kind of hiding spot is that to lay on the ground?
That's right. Well, she was 9 years old, but here's my question. I have a 10-year-old, okay? That's 1 year older than a 9-year-old. My question is how can you confuse the size of a 9-year-old with the size of a skunk? That's just, I don't get that. I don't get that.
Well, we don't know what they were serving at this party.
And they might have, the 9-year-old might have been drunk and passed out in the front yard. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, let's play hide and seek.
And the person with the gun might have been drunk.
You're like, yeah,
passed out.
I'm going to play hide and seek too. Oh, wait, there's a skunk. I'm going to shoot him first before I find anybody. Mm-hmm. All right, police chief steals iPad and iPod from evidence. Now I work in a form of police work, and you are a former police officer. So we know what it's like to come across evidence that's like, oh, maybe I can take this for myself. But, of course, your conscience sets in. And plus the fact that everything is documented now. And whenever there's something like evidence, like computer-related software or mobile devices, phones or whatever, they plug it in and they're like, oh, we're going to find out who owns this device. So then it gets logged and data logged. Well, this police chief thought he could steal. He's the chief of police.
I think he was set up.
I think
he was set up. I think he was totally set up. He was just borrowing it.
He looks a little like me.
He was borrowing it. I know. I was going to say like your cousin.
He looks a little like me.
He looks like your cousin. He was just borrowing it. He was using it to conduct his investigation. It was just sitting there, and he was borrowing it. Somebody wants his job, and they set him up. I can see that in his guilty-looking face.
Here's the sad thing is the charges are all Class 3 felonies and could be punishable with 3 to 5 years in prison, I imagine.
Wow.
You want to do this one? Police
use taser on 10-year-old at school career day. Lawsuit alleges. I could just see that demonstration. Listen. Hey, y'all, we're going to demonstrate this here taser. Hold still, little kids. Who wants to get shot? I want to get shot with the taser. A lawsuit claims that New Mexico State Police, well, there's the part of the problem. Officer stunned a 10-year-old boy with a taser after he refused to wash the officer's car. Oh, okay. So now it gets even better. It's not just a demonstration. Yeah. Hey, boy, you won't get out here. But honey, he's only 10 years old. Gotta learn sometime. Get over here and wash this car. If you don't do it, I'm gonna tase you.
But he's some random student, right?
Oh.
That's crazy.
Officer Christopher Webb was visiting the boys' elementary school for career day on May 4th when the incident occurred, according to Courthouse News. Can you just imagine what that looked like? I mean, it was probably exciting just for a moment, but this guy is now losing his job.
It was electrifying.
It was electrifying, yeah. Wow.
Oh, Lord.
Where do people come up with this?
This is one of my favorites. Woman sues Brooklyn doctor for telling her she has HIV.
And she didn't even ask.
Okay, she didn't ask.
Believe that?
But here's the deal. She had gastric bypass surgery. And whenever you have that,
you go through stringent, unbelievable tests.
But she already had it. She had already had it done.
Right.
And she had a B12 deficiency. So vitamin deficiency is a common thing.
Do you think that maybe he did some things while she was under the knife and then he wanted to make sure he wasn't going to get AIDS?
I don't think so. This is a different doctor.
Oh.
This doctor...
My theory's shot.
Sorry. This doctor says, there's a reason why your B12 is deficient. So, there's a reason why your B12 is deficient. So, we're going to do a bunch of tests. Well, because of the style of deficiency and because the white blood cells and all that kind of scientific stuff, we're going to do an HIV test. Well, she said no. Oh,
she already said no.
She said, I don't want an HIV test. I want to focus on my health.
She didn't want people to know she has it. Because she probably suspected she had it.
Maybe. But here's the thing. Here's the big thing. This lady has HIV. Mm-hmm. She's on an operating table getting gastric bypass surgery. That makes your stuff deficient anyway. And if you have HIV and you're deficient in stuff, then you're acceptable to certain diseases and illnesses and things like that, and then it can turn into flu-borne, AIDS. It can turn into straight out AIDS. So the doctor's reasoning for testing her for HIV was based on her medical history stuff, because he didn't. Why are you having a B12 deficiency? Because you have HIV.
Right.
Well, he couldn't determine that without doing an HIV test. So that's his plea. Her plea is, you didn't get my permission, you didn't ask me, and because they kind of just threw it on the spot, like, ma'am, you have HIV.
That's kind of like asking for permission to breathe. I mean, who cares?
Who wouldn't want to know that you have HIV? I mean,
now she should go there with the idea that the doctors have her best interest.
I would hope so.
I think she needs to quit smoking the wacky tobacco.
I think she just needs to own up to the fact that she's got
maybe
something worse than
her life.
Well, she's got something worse than being overweight.
Oh, I know. But that will make her skinny in the long run.
There's a weight loss program for you. Get HIV or AIDS. Just get a little. No.
This has been an episode of At the Water Cooler with Wayne and Jerry.